Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this overview and to consider whether our Level 7 attachment focused psychotherapeutic pathway to clinical mastery diploma, awarded and accredited by the CPCAB, might be right for you. My name is Jo, and alongside running a busy private practice, I supervise, teach, and support therapists who are stepping into more senior, complex, and responsible roles in their work. I've been working with attachment theory for well over 10 years, and I was very fortunate to train with Linda Cundy. Her thinking has had a very strong influence on how I understand attachment, how I supervise, and depth in clinical work. At level 7, attachment isn't something we just simply use, it's something we work from. And this course grew out of conversations with students who had already completed our level 5 attachment-based psychotherapeutic counselling training. And many of them wanted something that would support their wider clinical work while also offering a clear pathway towards senior accreditation. And this level 7 program is designed to do exactly that. It offers advanced training in clinical supervision, attachment-based couples therapy, working with religious trauma, and applied clinical research. It's designed for therapists who are at least 3 years post-qualification and have a level 5 or level 6 counselling qualification. This senior level training is intended to support complex clinical work and professional development. We move beyond focusing on what the client brings and begin to explore what's happening between people, what's played out in relationships, how our own attachment patterns show up in supervision, in couples work, and in leadership. We ask questions like, what happens inside you when a supervisee looks to you for reassurance? Or how do you offer challenge without damaging a relationship? What gets stirred up in you when couples withdraw, polarize, or escalate? And how do you stay regulated when the work feels intense? And this is the kind of thinking that supports senior, confident practice. The program is made up of 4 modules, all taught from an attachment perspective, each with their own criteria that needs only be met once for those who are familiar with the CPCAB framework. Teaching is delivered online with 31 live sessions. We use breakout rooms a lot. Within the sessions, there's lots of discussion and videos, skills practice and reflection. This format allows flexibility, and there are no restrictions around the client, age groups or therapeutic modality that you will be working within. As part of the course, you will also need to have 20 hours of personal therapy with an attachment trained therapist. And on our website, you can find our directory of therapists and supervisors who are attachment trained. You also need to have an additional 6 hours of supervision during the training, and to complete 8 hours of couples therapy work, whether that's with 1 couple or 2 couples, 4 hours with 2 couples, and 12 hours of supervision practice with at least 2 supervisees. So that might be, that's 1.5 hours if you're doing 1.5 hours a month. That would be 2 or 3 months of each supervisee. A lot of questions that we get asked around couples work is, where will I find couples? Some students advertise privately, some work through agencies. You can use social media, and the same for supervisees. And you may decide to offer some kind of discount to supervisees for a limited period of time, and the same with your couples that you find to work with during the training. Some students go straight into looking for supervisees. We kind of kick off and suggest that you can start supervising from October if you're starting in September. And then the couples therapy, you would want to be probably looking around February to start with your couples. So that gives you the time to get your hours in. But there's no rush. It's about being ready. And as long as you get your hours in before the end of June, then that's absolutely fine. At level 7, we work directly with your attachment style as a therapist, a supervisor, and a couples therapist. How vulnerability and authority sit together, how to hold emotional intensity without rescuing, withdrawing, or overdoing, and how to stay reflective rather than reactive. Many therapists tell me this training doesn't just change how they work, it changes how they feel in the work, often saying they feel more grounded, more confident, and more trusting in themselves. This qualification is awarded and accredited by the CPCAB, and it's our intention to also get it accredited with the BACP after June 2026. It has been mapped already to scoped column C, and it is designed to support your application for senior accreditation. It's suitable for therapists who want to move into supervision roles, couples specialism, trauma-informed leadership, or simply a deeper, more confident clinical identity. This course, a useful question to ask yourself is, why do I want to do this course? If the answer is to gain an in-depth understanding of attachment, then I would point you towards our level 5 training. If the answer is to become a clinical supervisor, work with couples and understand research, then the level 7 is the place to be. If you're already supervising, that's not a problem. If you're already seeing couples, that's not a problem. We've had quite a few students come through that have already been supervising, and they say that how wonderful it's been to learn some new models, but also to look at supervision from an attachment lens, and the same with those that have been working with couples previously. If you don't have any attachment knowledge, we would recommend some reading before the course starts, and we will support you with that. Now, I'd like to show you the structure of the course in more detail so you can really get a sense of whether it feels like a good fit for you. So I'm just going to share my screen and show you, this is our resources portfolio. We work on a platform called OneNote, and if you imagine it's a lever arch file, on its side you've got all of these tabs across the top of the page, and each of these tabs represents a week of the course. And this very first tab here is the course documents, and all of these documents here are provided for you to build your own portfolio. So the candidate learning records, this is where you will find all the criteria. So this is a criteria focused training course. We ask you after every taught session to provide a learning review, which is your evidence of learning. And within that learning review, you can claim criteria, and depending on which module we're in, you can find the list of criteria here. We also ask for a bi-weekly journal. You can again claim criteria from the journal, but what we want to hear in the journals is, how is the teaching impacting your learning, your professional practice, your clinical practice, etc., etc. So just to give you an idea of the sorts of support that we give you in your learning, if I click on week 1, you'll see that all of these resources here change. And in here, there will be videos and papers and all sorts of goodies that you can read if you have the time to do so. But we will teach you everything you need to pass this training. I'm just going to skip to week 2, just so you can see, that the resources change week to week. And every week you get the slides in advance, so you can prepare, you can have a look at what you're going to be learning about, and so you can have a look at that. So if I just click back to this course documentation, these are the learning reviews, and for those that have done a CPCAB course before, you'll know that if you're claiming criteria, you put in a criteria assessment sheet or a CAS sheet with each piece of work and start to knock off those criteria. And then you've got all of these logs, so you will put in a client log to show that you've done your 8 hours of couple therapy, and then further down here you've got your supervision log, and so on and so forth. And there's a handbook And there's also a supervision report for your couples work and a supervision of supervision report as well to build your portfolio. So hopefully that gives you a sense of the type of support that you're going to get with this training. So I'd just like to come and just quickly talk about the cost of the training. The cost of the course is £2,800, and to secure your place, we ask for a £600 deposit. That's so that we can register you with the CPCAB. And you can pay that in instalments if we're enough in front of September. And then you can, if you want to, pay the remaining balance in instalments. We give you an interest-free loan to do that. And the instalments, if you pay from September to June, are £220 a month. If you're taking out the instalment package, if you like, we ask you to sign a contract that just says that if you decide to pull out of your place on the course, that you will still pay back that free loan that we give you. I hope that's answered some of the questions that you may have about this training and to give you an idea of what's involved. If you have any more questions, you can book a call, an individual one-to-one call with me or one of the other tutors via the website on the course detail page. If you want any more information, you can pop an email through, or there is the chat bot as well on the website that you can ask questions, and it hopefully will give you a sensible answer. If not, you can ask it to put you in touch with a human. So as I come into land here, if you're noticing a pull towards deeper work, towards supervision, couples, trauma or leadership, towards becoming the therapist others lean on, then this pathway may well be your next step. And we look forward and are excited to accompany you on that journey if that's the path you choose. Thank you very much for listening.